Question number 20 on the reading portion of College Board's Test 5. Based on the passage, both authors would agree with which of the following claims? Okay, this is such a hard passage because they really want you to get confused. It almost seems like there's no overlap on either of these arguments. Beecher believes that women are subordinate to men and they exert their influence in a particular way and they should not get involved in slavery or the issue of it. And Beecher and Grimke says, no, that's absolutely false. Whatever is right for a man to do is right for a woman to do. So it almost appears as if, like in this Venn diagram, there's like almost no overlap. There's like this tiny little portion of overlap, and we need to find that. What is true that both believe? So based on the passage, both authors would agree with which of the following? Women have moral duties and responsibilities. Okay, so would passage 1 believe that women have moral duties and responsibilities? I think that's true, actually, because even though she says that women have the subordinate station, she says, but while women hold a subordinate relation, it is not because it was designed that her duties or influences should be less important than men. So I think that women do have moral duties and responsibilities. That is it's like, do they have them? Regardless of whether or not they're more important or less important than men, do they at the very least have them? And I think passage 1 says yes, they do, because it says that women have to exert their influence. That it's not less important; it's actually important. What about passage 2? Does passage 2 believe that women have moral duties and responsibilities? Yes, because I think it says that the rights of, if we go to the rights of founded, line 65, in the nature of our moral being, then the mere circumstance of sex does not give to man higher rights and responsibilities than to women. So she's saying there's no difference between the two. And then what does she say? I think later on, my moral doctrine is whatever it is right morally for man to do, it is morally right for woman to do. Line 81. So she's saying there that women have the same duties and responsibilities that men do. So I think that that's true for both of them. Both authors would agree with which of the following claims. They both believe that women have moral duties and responsibilities. At the very least, like, what's the bare minimum of overlap? This small little hurdle of saying, like, yeah, women have responsibilities and duties. It's like, is that controversial? No, it's not controversial for both of those people. The degree to which they exist and how they exist might be controversial for them. But the mere fact of saying that they have them doesn't seem to be controversial. They both agree on that. I like that. What about B? Men often work selflessly for political change. Selflessly means like without regard for their own personal interest. And we know that that's actually not true, because passage 1 even says that men do things by collision in public debate, by personal interest. So even just right off the bat, it's like, do men work selflessly for political change? No, because they clearly are selfish, because they care about personal interest. So we don't even need to, and obviously passage 2 never says anything of the sort, but even passage 1 doesn't say that. What about C? The ethical obligations of women are often undervalued. What does that mean, ethical obligations? Ethical obligation means like that women are held to a different ethical standard than men are. What are the ethical obligations of women? They have to be more honest, more righteous, more correct, and that because of that they are undervalued. Do both authors say that the ethics means like what you should do in a certain situation? So again, it's like, should you return money that falls out of the pocket of someone? Should you not steal? Should you not do bad things? Like, the ethical obligations of women are often undervalued. We never talk about the ethics of women being in a way any different than that of men. We talk about their sphere of influence being different, but do we talk about their ethics or their business practices or the daily practices in life? No, we don't. I'm not liking that. Ethical obligations. Again, I feel like the College Board is making us say something that we just don't know a lot about, which is why C is such a, I think, a good bad answer. D, political activism is as important for women as it is for men. Not true, because according to passage 1, political activism in the form of the abolition movement should be ignored by women. So therefore, if both authors would not agree with this, because the first author does not agree with D, even though the second author, Grimke, believes D is correct. But because both of them don't agree, it can't be the answer. I think A, even though A seems to be the vaguest answer here, it actually is the one that's irrefutable in this case. because the other ones are trying to get us to say very specific things that might or might not be true, and in the case of C are not true, because we don't talk about the ethical. It's this very minute, tiny little sliver that we need to care about, are often undervalued. That's not going to be true compared with women have moral duties and responsibilities. Moral duties and responsibilities, that's going to be the thing I think that's the least controversial, the one that both sides would agree on. The answer number 20 is going to be A.